a bit. First of all, I want to introduce Michael Romero. He's a VP of Mobility for North America for Ingram Micro, and he's been leading our charge into that area over the last couple of months.
So I'm excited to be here at Ingram Micro. Been on board for about 6 weeks now. But Ingram sees mobile as a very strategic market segment that they need to excel at. So Ingram has made some significant investments both in personnel as well as services, line card strategy. So we're really hoping to assist our VARs in time to market to really drive some of the mobile solutions that are starting to grow very quickly in the different market segments.
I'll start with Canada. As you know, we set up our mobility division a couple of years ago. So we had a head of mobility. We just had a new person added to the team. Wendy Franklin is going to be running that in Canada, and she reports into Tim Billing in vendor management. So we've got a team, of inside and field resources who are working on mobility. But from a cross North American standpoint, we haven't had kind of a link between the group, and Mike's putting together a team in the U.S. right now. So some that you filled already over the last couple of weeks, and quite a lot of openings now to flesh out the team later on.
Yes, we've added over 20 requisitions in the mobile team. So we just hired our Senior Director of Sales and Business Development. His name is Brian Hagedin. He has over 10 years experience in mobile. He was Vice President at Cricket Cellular. He's been at Clearwire, British Telecom. And then we brought an inside resource, a gentleman named Tim Acker, who's our Senior Director of Vendor Management and Operations, who brings significant wealth of information and knowledge internal to Ingram Micro. And we're adding people in business development, vendor management, marketing, product marketing, really looking at mobile as a holistic approach to add the pieces we need to really assist our value-added resellers, our retailers, and everybody to be able to take advantage of the opportunities.
Sure. I think when we were looking at a couple of years ago at the mobility market, part of it was the convergence we were seeing, as there was some overlap happening through our traditional VARs and definitely through our retailers that we're pretty strong with in Canada. The tablets were a big kickstart to this, right? And we've seen the NP data from this year already showing that notebook sales in Canada and in North America have been down significantly. So the growth we're seeing, and the iPads in particular, but for us distributing exclusives with RIM on the Playbook, and also Samsung for the VAR space. We were also able to sign up Kobo and Amazon on the e-reader space, and getting this platform going earlier this year. These are all high growth areas, and it allowed us to kind of moderate as we saw notebooks start to shrink down and you saw the mobile devices pick up. It really helped us deal with that loss over in the other areas. They do need a lot of support depending on who you're dealing with. Some specialize in this, as you know, but for a lot of people they're looking at how to get into the space, and that's kind of where distribution adds a lot of value by being able to recommend products. We can be agnostic with products, make recommendations and work with many different solutions that they have, through our technical support team, and also through marketing when it comes to helping support them with their own marketing efforts.
It really depends on what market they serve. So there's a lot of different verticals in the VAR space. So if they're focusing on healthcare, focusing on enabling retail storefronts, so mobile is really started to penetrate a lot of different market segments, and each market segment requires a different hero product, handset, tablet, accessory. Our cloud services will play into this greatly, so there's a lot of cloud services around it. Applications, ISVs will be playing in this for specific applications being built. So it's a very complex market, so we're trying to take our resources and try to simplify it and enable the value-added resellers. There's other things in mobile like back-end rebates or activation services and other things. So we're trying to simplify that and package it and enable the VARs to do businesses they've been doing for many years to simplify the process, but as well as penetrate these new markets that are growing very, very rapidly around the products. You're right, that's a very complex question. It really depends on the vertical they're servicing. So I'm going to concentrate on the retail because I think you've seen a lot of activity there. So you go into a lot of storefronts today and the salesperson engages you in the middle of the aisle. They have a mobile device in their hand. They can search for products. They can scan barcodes to find your size. They can check you out with your credit card. They can do all the transaction they used to have to go behind the counter with right there in front of you. And then that information gets transferred back into corporate. So they can now look at their sales out. They can look at the different products people were looking at real time of what's happening in all their storefronts. So it's an enablement. It's a little bit of M to M. It's a little bit of human interaction, but all of it is mobile. and that creates opportunities in enterprise software, specific ISV applications, as well as that hero device that they have in their hand to engage the customer with. If you look in military, they're using mobile. I mean, if you really look at that space, if you look at healthcare, they're very mobile. So it's kind of a ubiquitous statement anymore, the mobilized product. So you could talk about any channel and talk about how mobile is modifying, changing that marketplace, and it's happening so rapidly with the technology change. We have to help our VARs understand what's happening in those markets, enable them through the proper line card strategy and services. I think mobile's in everybody's mind. I think right now you can't not be thinking about mobile. I think people will approach it differently. I think some people are very active in the front end piece, the mobile interaction. Others will be pulled into it through their back end services, and then somebody's going to come to them with mobile. As you dive into the bring your own device world, right, that's creating a lot of different opportunities, but also some challenges. So you have a lot of software vendors like RIM has a great enterprise software package called Fusion that's now going to manage all devices, not just RIM products. You have other competitors in that space. So again, it's very complex. So depending on the VAR's channel and how they approach their business model and their services will determine which way they approach the opportunity. But Ingram wants to have a service and the ability to support them in whatever way they attack that opportunity.